What are those 4 or 5 use cases that you think for which these LLMs are ready now and organizations can really invest and see the ROI because the technology is there and we can build it?
We identify three key use cases in the business, right? The first one is about the experience, because the second one is more on the business process and workflow. The last one that we are seeing is helping the customer to find the product that they want to buy in the retail side really quickly. AI is not a tool anymore. It's more of your colleagues, more of your intern, more of your specialist to do something, right? Even my son, I cannot give a good advice.
So, hello everyone. We are on another show of BetterTech. Today, our guest is an experienced business and artificial intelligence leader, Chomchana. We can call him Chom, and he's the head of AI and machine learning ASEAN region for Amazon Web Services. Prior to that, he has a lot of rich background at tech companies and engineering companies in various roles. So, before we dive into the conversation, how about Chom? You give a brief introduction about yourself. What are you doing these days, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so I'm Shom. Everybody here in the region call me Shom. I've been with AWS for about 6 years right now, and I've been doing the same job, but in different regions. I was starting at the machine learning and AI specialist in Japan for 2 years. So I was living in Japan for 25 years before I decided that I want to go back to the region, and now I'm based in Singapore doing the generative AI business development for 5 years already.
Wonderful. So seems like you've been doing work ever since, and you're a PhD in computer science as well. So you have done a lot of work in the business development side as well as the technical side of AI machine learning. And since you are at Amazon, so I'll just use some of their analogies and or some of their work principles. So let's start working backwards from customers. Why don't you tell us how businesses are investing in AI these days? Let's talk about from your experience for small, medium businesses and enterprises, how you're looking at your customer, and then we'll work backwards of what Amazon or AWS is doing to address those customer needs.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much people trying to find a way to understand the technology, right? The generative AI itself is the new technology everybody knows. And in the first 1 or 2 years after ChatGPT, people still trying to make sure that they know what the technology is all about. And now it's get to the point that they have a little bit of clarity of what it can do, what it cannot do. Right. However, to the point that getting a lot of business value out of it is still a lot of things that we can help the customer to be able to do that kind of experiment. And it's always that the customer coming to us and say that, hey, we want to know more about the tech. We want to know more about how it can impact our business. So it's keep transforming from the tech conversation. I remember that we have a lot of, in 2023, we get in the boardroom and try to explain what is the large language model is to the board people. And then, in 2024, people starting doing crazy amount of POC on chatbot. And then they get to the point that some people actually low it down, some people see a lot of success, some people didn't. So now, this year, everything changed. So a lot of use case that generative AI is very good at, and we are seeing it's get industrial verticalized into industry, right? So it's now it's become that, hey, can you make it specific to our industry and help us to be able to get it done faster for some customer, but it's still for the big customer like enterprise customer. I know you typically you know how the typical big enterprises, right? The more it's not about the technology issue anymore. It's more of the people making a decision. They want to go or they don't want to go. It's take a little bit of time for them to make a decision. For the smaller player, to be honest, there are not a lot of those customers that in the cloud yet. They are still looking for something that really turnkey, really low cost, and really to the point of the application, which I don't think everybody uh, everybody trying to figure it out at the moment. But we not to the point that hey, this is the thing that you need to have to drive your business. And the price tag is still a little bit high for the smaller size customer.
Yeah, and I think you hit it right on the head. And I had a very similar kind of an experience because we are a consulting company. I mean, you sell your product or services, we kind of build on top of that. So in 2023, ChatGPT was a phenomenon and everybody was crazy about that. And 2024, yes, there was a lot of POCs. I'm seeing some analysis paralysis as well. We'll come to that as that discussion as well. But yeah, in 2025, a lot of companies are really trying to figure out how to move past this proof of concept kind of a stage. So, what are you, I mean, in your experience, what are you really finding that our companies, I was probably looking at an interesting stat. I'm not sure it was from Gartner or someone where they're saying that like 60-70% of the organization are struggling from converting proof of concept into a proof of value. So, I mean, what's your experience right now in 2025? How you think things are coming along?
Yeah, I think customer is actually asking us to share more about the success from the other region or the success for the people that leading in the industry,
Right.
right? And we get into the point that at AWS we provide pretty much Lego blocks for the customer, right? And it's come in the big box that you have everything inside, but the only thing that missing is the instruction. Right. So you said that you can build anything on AWS, but you need to know what you want to build. So that is the really tough patience for everyone. They know what the problem that they have. The only thing that doesn't change in the last 20 years that I'm working with this customer is that the business problem never changed. The new technology come and promising some of the changing and then the solutions, better solutions to the business problem. But now, when we get to the point that we know what the solution can do, now I'm working more with AWS partner to package the solutions in the more consumable way, so that we go to the customer and say that, if you in banking, this is the top five, business problem that generative AI can help you solve, right? And we already have semi-tailor-made solutions that you just need to give us your actual data, and then we can go do a POC really quickly. And after that, you can make a decision that you want to get into production or not, according to the ROI and all this. Yeah.
No, that's wonderful. And actually, I want to elaborate a bit more on that. So, and you can tell me that if my observation is also correct or not. So, a lot of small businesses, they're just trying to actually, I mean, there is so much noise out there with tools who would say that we are going to just automate everything, we are just going to do everything, and when you implement them they just actually don't do that, and you have to kind of really adopt the agent or train, instructionally train it, prompt wise train it to kind of start doing work that you want it to do. So that's what I'm seeing in the small businesses, that they're looking for a silver bullet that is going to solve something for them. In larger enterprises, what I'm seeing across the MENA region throughout, and to an extent it's also true for North American region, is that the largest customers, they say, tell me the use cases and tell me who's your best customer and how they implemented it. And it's kind of a challenge to help them understand that the technology is pretty new and everybody is building use cases. So there are not previously successful case studies in abundance. Are you experiencing the same? I mean, do you kind of conquer this sentiment that this is what all you are also hearing?
Yeah. I think it's two part, right? The part that you said about the use case is totally right, because it's new and no people didn't know how this should work in the actual scenarios, because they have done is not in the production yet, right?
Right.
But in the past like 6-8 months, I think we get to the point that some of the use case, right, that we understand well, very primitive one, is getting adopted well, right? However, still the second part of it is that the UI and UX for this new the technology is not there yet, right? We are feel struggle that when you talk about like agentic AIs and all this agent technology, so how humans should be interact with this agent? I don't think we have the best UI, and I really don't like chatbot, right? It's just so boring. It's just everything is on you. If you not ask the question, you will not get your answer. You have your intent, and you need to like put it in the sentence, and sometimes like half a page to actually get something done. That kind of thing is not really a good way of interacting with something that really intelligent. So I think for people to adopt it, I think we need to come up with a better UX and the UI that will be translating the intents. You get into all these applications that still look like Windows 95.
So, John, there are two follow-up questions. I mean, so what are some of the most best use cases you are observing? Let's say if there's a list of top five you have that are kind of tailor-made for these LLMs, and if organizations build them, they can roll it out into production today or now. So what are those kind of 4 or 5 use cases? Customer support is definitely should come somewhere, but I would like to hear from you that what are those 4 or 5 use cases that you think let's for the start, let's be industry agnostic and try to come up with generic use cases, and then we'll dive into industry. So what are those 4 or 5 use cases that you think for which these LLMs are ready now, and organizations can really invest and see the ROI because the technology is there and we can build it, we can build them?
Yeah, and I think we identify three key use case in the business, right? The first one is about the experience, because user, they get exposed to all these AI like ChatGPT, like Claude.ai and all this, and from it's become a household name, and people knows that the AI can do really good job at some level from the medias and all this. So they are expecting the corporate to be able to provide the same experience in every channel that they're touching. So we are seeing more and more on this customer service, customer experience, that it's about language. It's about understand what the other person trying to do, understand the intent through the language, and be able to get the answer or get the information quickly and give it back to the customer. So I see like this voice bot chatbot is also part of that kind of things, right? It's a customer experience platform. It's helping like the call center agent to be able to find the information quickly without listen to your customer and then go and search and try to navigate yourself to 3, 4 back-end system to get the information. It's not the way you should be doing, right? If the AI listening into the conversation, it should be able to pop up all this information and suggest that, hey, the customer is talking about this new marketing campaign. The customer is asking about this new discount that we provided out there. And maybe this product is something that the customer is looking for according to the customer conversation that they have. That is the first use case. It's a new experience that we provide. And the second one is more on the business process and workflow. So I think this one is really early on, right? People like talking with your document, chatting with your PDF, those kind of along that line. And now we are seeing that, like if you go to the banks and try to get a new credit card or get a mortgage or a loan applications, it's like 200 pages of document that you need to submit. And submitting is a painful process already. Thinking about the relationship manager on the bank that need to go through like stranger 200 pages of loan application trying to get money from the bank. That is really painful process as well. So if AI can read the document and then provide all this scorecard, provide all the insight, the entity matching and everything, this is the second use case. It's about document processing and automate, not to make a decision on the loan, but to actually help the people that need to make the decision don't need to go through the 200 page of the documents. The consistency of you have the same name, you have the same address, and all those kind of nitty-gritty stuff, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
last one that we are seeing is more on because AWS is also, we have Amazon.com that doing all these retail things. So we've been on the personalizations and helping the customer to find the product that they want to buy in the retail side really quickly. But we use the personalization models, recommendation model, which is machine learning models. We know what is the product that the customer is looking for to buy, but we don't have the way to communicate it in the way compelling way that will shorten the time of the customer to put it in the cart and then check it out. But now, because of generative AI combined with this machine learning, we can know that, oh, maybe this customer is looking for this type of product. And
Mm-hmm.
to make them make a decision, we can give them these 1-2 liners when they look at the product that according to their preference, that they will feel that, okay, it seems like this is the one that I'm looking for. You don't need to go through all the review of another like 1,000 customers to just verify which one is right for you. Right? That
Right.
is the 3 use case. So the first one is the customer experience, customer support. The second one is the workflow on the document. The third one is more on the recommendation, hyper personalization that we've been promising for a long time, but we don't have the way, the last communication miles that generative AI is actually putting it in. This is
Right.
the business use case that I
No,
see. Yeah.
I think yes, we are seeing the similar thing that the companies can start from retrieval kind of use cases and then build on top of it the AI workflows where you're retrieving and using LLM to take some action or interpreting the action and then building onto the customer experience. I think we are still some way away from totally autonomous agents before they take up. So right now it's more like AI being integrated into your workflows, which is essentially an AI workflow in various ways. You answered one of my other questions, which was, and maybe you want to touch upon more about that. That from the eating your own dog food mindset, what are the AI use cases that Amazon is building for itself internally? And what are those? And you probably kind of mentioned one where you are recommending. Are there any other that you see internally being implemented in every other department or segment?
Yeah, I think we use a lot of our own product, right? And the personalization, definitely, that is the first one that we are seeing a lot of traction. Even the document processing, we have a lot of that internally as well. And we have this AI assistant internally. We have Amazon Q that everybody can have access in AWS. Because AWS is the writing culture, right? We write a lot of paper. We
Yeah.
don't use a lot of PowerPoints. So it's hard for people from like my background, right? I born in Thailand. I lived in Japan for a long time. I don't have the Western education with the proper English, right? I struggle at all the writing and all those stuff. But now I just need to have an idea, and all the grammars and other things can be taken care of really easily. So people spend less time talking about, Shom, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Can you, articulate it a little bit more? I can write better and to the roof. And the other thing is more on the coding, right? Because we technology company, and I am from the tech side. I code a lot when I was in the university, but after I cross over to the business side, I don't have that time, right? I talking to the board, I talking to the C-level people, but building the application, I need to rely on part of my team to help. But today, with like Amazon Q and Amazon Q for developers, all the things that we have. Now in my spare time, I can use this coding AI agent to build the demo for my customer without don't need to go begging my technical counterpart to help me with that, right? And I really enjoy that. It's really give me the better understanding of the thing that I'm selling to my customer and be able to build it with my own hands. I think that is one of the use cases. And
The
the
quick
last
prototyping.
one, yes, quick prototyping. And the last one is more on the BI type of things, right? Because I do a lot of internal reporting. So I have all these, CSV file, Excel sheet, and all this. And now, you can just throw the document to the AI and say, hey, can you categorize what kind of use case is it? Like 10,000 use case that I have in my CRM. Can you look at the name of the opportunity and tell me what is the majority of the use case that the customer trying to build, so that I can process the categorize what kind of interest, what is the market signal really fast, and then get into my documents. I think this all these three things, right? Getting to be able to write, to be able to do faster coding, faster prototyping, and then do analytics, do research faster. That the things that we use a lot of AI internally in AWS.
Right. So I may not ever forget the other question. So there are two questions, and one is you mentioned about the different now user interfaces or user experience, and
Yes.
obviously one one intermediate step is really about creating conversational interfaces as compared to filling the forms and so on and so forth. But obviously this is an intermediate step as we move towards a radically different way of interacting with applications or software or user experience. So I would like to pick your brain on that what you're thinking that. And the number two part is that while you mentioned that you are doing a lot of business intelligence, working with sheets and a lot of that kind of work. And there are and we all build RAG models where I mean you are using the generative capability to kind of convert it into sentences or understand that and get data from where you are. Uh, how you're still tackling the problem of hallucination or for your customers, let's say in the finance, sales data where you need 100% accuracy. So that's one question, and the question prior to that was how you are seeing actually user interfaces or user experience getting changed. Right now, I see a lot of every SaaS and every other thing for that matter is getting into the conversational interfaces. But are you seeing the similar stuff, or are you seeing something beyond that as well?
Yeah, so I think the really obvious one, right, on the UI, I take the UI things first. So we starting with the chatbot, and then I think it's not only the interface itself, it's also the back end of the solution as well, right? And we get into taking coding is a really good example for this agentic use case, right? And we could try to get into the way that, hey, can you one shot the AI to give you a code that work, right? And then we get into all these like cursor, windsurf type of things that it's actually you still trying to give as much context as possible in the beginning. However, in the back end, it's calling tools, it's calling other functions to be able to get to arrive to your answer and
Right.
iterate and
Right.
thinking and make a listening and calling different tools. That's how the agentic is doing, right?
Right.
And we get to the point where now the most fascinating thing is that I use Amazon Q CLI, or in the market it's Cloud Code, right? That Anthropic is providing. It's actually go back to from IDE, from GUI, go back to the terminal, right? You can talk to the coding agents in terminal, and
Yeah.
it actually works. And you can execute command, and everything that you can do in the terminal is already there, right? So I think rebuild it on top of the UI and all those is a good idea, but depends on the use case, right? Today I'm more using this agentic AI for coding from my terminal than from my UI. I just use UI to actually when I need to read the source code, right? And
Right.
all that can be done on the terminal as well. That
Right.
is the UI, and I think the UI for like deep research, writing document, and creating something for the specific use case. The specific UI for that, we are not seeing it yet. I feel like when the first iPhone come and everybody try to cram the website into the small screen and call it a mobile apps, right? And once the actual native mobile apps coming out, no one cramming the website into
Right.
the phone anymore, right? It's become a native apps. Everybody need to have apps. I think the apps, the iPhone apps moment for AI is not there. We are
Right.
still,
Right.
I don't really have the answer to that, but it will come, right? I
Right.
believe
Right.
that people will come
Right,
up
right,
with
right now
this
your
very
answer
good.
is very very techy. Get to the terminal and and do whatever you like.
Yeah.
I mean, we all
So
techies, we would love to do that.
yeah, and now I think someone need to come up with the better UI for this. And I'm seeing a lot of startups that are working on the UI type of things, right? Because the model is already given, the data is already given. Now you just need to find a way for normal people to adopt the technology really fast. So I think that will be something that I'm expecting to see. What
Wonderful.
about, yeah. Hope it
Wonderful.
answered the first question
That's
on the UI.
the second question, that where you need 100% accuracy, how you're looking at those systems.
Yeah, for me, right, I think because of all this AI coming with the tools, and I tell my son, right, that use it for the English test, but don't use it for the math, because
Right.
definitely it's gonna hallucinate and you're not gonna get the accurate answers. But now all these AI tools have built-in like the coding sandbox that if it get into the really mathematical problem, calculation problem, it just write code and then extract the data, right? When I throw in the CSV file that I tell you earlier, and then try to get the information out of it, and make sure that it's just not looking at maybe 10, 20 lines and give me the answer, but it's writing like small JavaScript or Python code, execute it on top of the full document, do the calculation mathematically, and then on top of that answer, putting the narrative on top of it. The narrative part, there need to be a little bit of the creativity to actually explain what's happening, but the baseline, the quantitative data need to come from the calculations. That is the way that we need to control, right? And also RAG is something that a lot of people do, but nowadays, right, like we have our Amazon Nova models, Nova Premium is like, it's 1 million tokens. So you can just throw the whole data that you have, right? It can take the whole things and it can
Right.
process the whole things, right? So, you know, doing a RAG is when you have a really small context window, it's a good way to make things effective. But it actually the only investment that you have to do when you use the LLMs, because the LLMs is, you use it by token based, you don't need to build the model anymore. But when you want to embed the document into a vector and use it for the RAG, you choose one embedding algorithm, you need to stick with it, or you need to redo the whole thing again, right?
Right.
And that is why the RAG is not effective. So that if you
One
can
other
put
thing
the
is
document there.
probably how you manage authorization on top. Because I mean, yep, it makes sense if you have a 1 billion token context window, you can throw everything into that. But not everyone should have access to all the data all the time, right?
Yeah,
So building up authorizations could be a challenging in that particular scenario.
yeah, and I think the main key things, right? That's why a lot of people come to me in 2023 and asking, "Hey, Chom, when is the Amazon GPT will come out? When is the Amazon GPT will come out?" They're asking, "When are you going to build the LLMs?" Right? And our answer is that we are trying to, if we need to, right? If it's a better way, cheaper way, we might do it. But the first thing that we launch is actually Amazon Bedrock, which is it's not a models, but it's the way that you can interact with the models with all the role-based access control in place. Right? If
Right.
you have access to that document and you ask the question, the AI will use your identity to actually try to access the information. If you are not clear from a security point of view, from the access authorization point of view, if you don't have access to that document, the AI will tell that, hey, I know who you are when you log into the apps, but I try to use your identity to access to the information that you're asking for. I found that we might have it, but I cannot show it to you. That
Right.
is the key point that we need to, like the other application, right? When you log in as a user to the chatbot, to the internal AI or whatever system, the AI need to know who they're dealing with and what kind of authentication, authorization that the person have, and they need to be end to end. Right? It doesn't. You don't need to build the segregation way for to authentication if these people have access to this document or not. It's already there. It's the like the Active Directories and all this OAuth and everything is already there from the beginning. We just use the infrastructure that we already have, but you need to end-to-end control it.
Right, right. Switching a bit of gears, so I mean, we've talked about a lot of where AI can be used. Where are you seeing the biggest kind of roadblocks? One, I personally see a couple where is there's analysis paralysis, which use case to do. Also, there's a magic wand kind of thinking process that, hey, can it solve my most complex use case rather than building it up on that? But where you're seeing the common roadblocks happening in organizations' AI adoption journey?
Yeah, I think it's still there, right? People still want to know all the use case and want to make a decision on which the right use case they need to start first, right?
Right.
And I think it's same as the other technology, right? We have a really consultative way to help people to identify that what is the low hanging fruit, how is the ROI will be. I think you are in
Finding
that.
finding your two-way door, right?
Yeah. Yes, yes. And it's always a two-way doors, right? Because building on AWS, it doesn't mean that you need to go buy an hardware and then install it and you cannot throw it away. So if you
Right.
don't use it, you just can throw it away. But I think consulting company can help with that. We have a lot for the people that cannot afford the consultation. Maybe they can pick the use case from the same industry and then just get along with it. It's more
Right.
of, you have too much choice, right? You're just thinking, oh, which one is the best? End of the day, you need to do it and do it fast. So just pick one and do it and fail
Yeah.
fast and move to the next one. I know
Exactly
talking
my
is
point.
easy, but
Just do something and figure it
yeah,
out. And don't try to
yes,
do your most complex one. Do something which is
yeah.
easier so that you build confidence.
But for
That
the most complex one, right? I have seen a little bit different than the last time I see it in machine learning because people still thinking that machine learning is what people try to throw the very complex problem to it, and we struggle to actually calm the customer down and say that it's not magic. But for generative AI, because how many billions of dollars have been putting in all these models, right? I think we are underestimate actually the capability of the model. Right?
right.
I'm more prone to a little bit oversell on the capability and try to experiment and try to find the way around it. Because end of the day, it's not right. You need to writing the whole libraries to get something done. It's just a prompt. And
Yeah.
if you can have like maybe a 10 page of prompts that can actually explain exactly what your business processes look like, I think most of the time the AI can actually follow the instruction really well and get that done. So I'm
Right.
looking for more complex use case that we've been giving up in the machine learning days and try to see if it will be fitting to the new generative AI ways of doing things or not.
No, that's correct. I kind of agree with that. And so, I mean, you are more on the side of the product where you're selling product, and I come from more from the side of consulting. We help companies make use of your products and build on top of it. But if I have to start a consulting company today, or if I have to grow my consulting company today, where are the more best opportunities that you seeing? You're coming from you have a business development background and you're doing that. So where are you seeing the most opportunities for consulting companies today?
So I think it's more about the framework and about the knowledge that you have been doing for the industry knowledge that you have accumulate over time, right? And all that I think is all the report that you have been providing to your customer, all the report out there. It's all in text, and I think the best chance is that you can turn around with the better proposal to the customer this day, and you can help the customer to put in like the change management, the SOP, in the more comprehensive way. If you can write it down, right, and the AI can read it. And before, you need to rely on the SI to actually, if you want to do a small project, that hey, you need to talk to the customer. The customer don't know their own internal process. You need to ask a lot of questions to get that out. They know it in the back of their head, right?
Yeah,
But it's not in the verbal way. And you're maybe in the consulting. What I understand is that you try to get that out from the customer, the knowledge that critical to their business, and then put it in the really structured way and then go to the tech implementation company to say that this is what my customer thinking it's the best way of running their own business. So can you put the system around it? And they will say that, oh, because the software is coming like out of the box, it has some function, it doesn't have some function, it cannot fit. And then you need to compromise some part of it, right? And then you spend like a year to try to build the application. But now, because the AI can understand the report, so I think that it will be the day that all consulting company, after you do the interview of your customer, you agree with your customer that this is the right way to do the business, you can just throw in and the AI will just use all the APIs that they have internally today and just change the way how this API is actually interconnect, use MCP, use all these agent, use our tool function to come up with the application that actually custom made for the customer from the SOP, right? So it will be not try to fit the customer into the out of the box SaaS application or all those, but to be able to use whatever they already have built over time, but to change how it executed using the reasoning engine to understand the SOP. I think that how the consulting business might already change the way that the business tools or business application implementing
Right.
moving forward.
Right. Right, right. No, no, no. That's precisely what it is. So I think yeah, we are in an interesting time, and with shift happening very fast, there are a lot of opportunities. I also think there are I mean, people who are just entering into the job market or doing some very basic work that is going to be fundamentally changed, and they'll have to retrain. But there is a lot of opportunities out there. 3 years seems to be a big time at this point in time. But what do you see for businesses, enterprises, Amazon, consulting company in the next 12, 15 months, where the world is going?
So to be honest, even my son, I cannot give a good advice for the
Same
job,
here,
right?
same here actually. My daughter was asking for advice
Yeah,
and said I cannot.
yeah, I agree, right? My dad is gonna say, "Hey, you be a doctor, you be an engineer,
Right,
you
right,
get your PhD, and you will get a good job." I don't even say that to my son this day because I don't
right.
know what kind of job. I don't even know if you need to go to the university to get this thing because the AI is already right pretty much all over the place, right? So to be honest, I don't really know. But the only thing I know is that there will be more. People that will be fluent in how to use the AI, and it will be getting better and help you, right? So now you can AI is not a tool anymore. It's more of your colleagues, more of your intern, more of your like specialist to do something, right? I'm not managing anyone in my team right now, but I have the AI to code for me. I have the AI to create the report for me. I have AI to do the data analyst for me. Before I need to send emails to like 10 people to try to find the answer, and always some people are gonna say that I am so busy, I cannot help, or you might need to try to do it yourself. But now, because all this is expanding the things that uh, you want to do, and it's helped you to be able to execute that faster. So I think the only thing is that you need to learn how to use the tools, right? And
Right,
then use it properly because it's just about what you ask that what you get from the tools these days, right? The other
right,
thing that will be like the automations and all those, the corporate will take care of that. And I think when my son get into the company, the company will just tell him that, hey, you know what, you don't have a mentor, we actually have this AI in the system. They know the AI know every SOPs in the company, so you go and work with it. If you cannot work with it, it's like today, if you going in and said, I cannot do words, I cannot do PowerPoint, I cannot do Excel sheet, you're not getting it, right? It will be the same way that if you cannot talk to AI and get it do the work for you, you're definitely not going to get your job.
right. No, wonderful. I think I share a lot of this thought process as well. And one last question. Your profile mentions that you're a great chef as well. So what is the best dish that you make?
Yeah, I do a lot, right? I actually I own 4 restaurants when I was in Japan before I left. So mainly because I just want to eat my mom recipe, right? Be away from home, right? My mom is in Thailand and I am in Japan, and it's not easy to find a niche
Yeah.
type of the food that I have there. So I just starting there. I try to replicate my mom recipe, and it's enough that I put the recipe in the restaurant and it works. And now I'm cooking a lot. So I cook a lot of spicy food. I do some barbecue, some all other thing. I bake bread and most of the things. But I try to uh, make my original my mom recipe. End of the day, until now, I still it's so right when you go back to Bangkok and I just swing by my mom house. Every time, whatever she cook, it's much better than than I do. So I cannot really tell you what is the best thing I cook, but I try to just replicate my mom recipe. That's what I do. Yeah.
Wonderful. So I'm sure if I come over to meet you, I'll get some good delicious food to eat. So thank you very much, John, for being with us today. And I think your insights are great, and I share quite a lot of those, and these will definitely be valuable for all our listeners. So thank you very much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.